Good morning vlog. Anyway, so I'm pretty tired because I didn't sleep that great because my stomach was constantly hurting all night. But I just finished up Sherlock's morning training. We worked on stay, his like down stays. I worked on both extended down stays, which is kind of just like where you tell them to stay and their job is to like kind of settle. He hasn't really gotten those quite yet. Obviously he's a puppy, so he's probably not going to get them for a while, but I'm just kind of getting him used to when I put him into a down, he stays in that down until I ask him to come up. And then we also worked on stay, where I tell him to stay in a down somewhere and then I like roll across the room out of sight for a little bit and then come back, and he's getting really good at those. He woke up like in this really rowdy mood, so I had to play some tug with him before I started training. And now, after training, I think we can definitely say that I wore him out. And then I'm just kind of resting here until my mom's done working because the nurse is coming today and I'm going to access my own port. This is actually going to be the third time I've accessed my own port, and then they're going to discharge me and I'll be able to access it by myself. So I'm super excited about that. And I have a crazy busy day because I have the nurse coming in a little bit, and then I also have to go to the oncologist, which is a cancer doctor, but I'm hoping that they'll be able to monitor my port more closely. Nurse just left our house, and then we promptly left our house because we have to go straight to the oncologist, which should be fun. I hate meeting new doctors. We've just had so many bad experiences with doctors at this point. Meeting new ones is super stressful. But on the good news, I accessed my own port. This would be the third time doing it. My skin, by the way, guys, so much better. We switched from the ChloraPrep and Tegaderm that we were using to now we use Betadine and IV3000 dressings. And the IV3000 dressings are kind of frustrating because they don't have as good of a stick, but my skin doesn't come out looking like it just came up from war whenever I de-access, so that's nice. We're on our way to the oncologist appointment to hopefully establish care with them and get someone that will be willing to help me out if I ever get another infection in my port. Sherlock is obviously at home in his playpen. Like, he can't do public access yet, you guys. He's like way too small. You wait to do public access with a dog that size. I mean, there's controversy. Some people like to take out their puppies when they're younger. Some people like to wait until they're older. I'm like, my dog needs to at least walk well on a leash before he does public access. So we're getting there. You have anything to say?
I'm glad that you got your port access. It was very nerve-wracking. When you got it put in the second time, did you move it differently? Was it a different spot?
Yeah, I put it down so like with the port you have like this big of a lumen, and I think I was at the very tip of the lumen, and the second time I went in like right in the middle, and so it went in super easy. The first time I could tell I hadn't hit the lumen right. So
I mean, but what I gotta love about that is that when the nurses were doing it, they were hitting wrong and they didn't care. They kept pushing it, and that's what made it so painful and so harmful. When Bethany pushed it in, she can tell this is not going the right way.
Yeah, like, sure, I still have to get a new needle and I punctured my skin, so that sucks, but it's like, at least I didn't mess up the nerve endings.
And that means that she's discharged and we don't have to.
Yeah, so I finally got discharged today and I am approved to access my own port. And that means no more nurses. Actually, having the nurse there makes me 10 billion times more nervous, so I think I'll probably be better at it when the nurse isn't there. On to the oncologist doctor. Funny story about oncologist doctor. So I was texting Nate when I had my port infection. I was just keeping him up to date because for a few hours there it was really tough. We didn't know if I was gonna go to the ER or not because I was showing some symptoms of sepsis with the chills and stuff, but not all of them. Anyways, I told him that the urgent care doctor referred me to an oncologist, and Nate was like, what's an oncologist? And I was kind of busy, so I didn't really have a chance to explain to him everything going on, so I just wrote cancer doctor and left it at that. And then like 15 minutes later I looked down on my phone and I had like 20 texts from him asking if they thought I had cancer. I was like, babe, it's just because they're the only type of doctors that deal with central lines. Like, seriously, I'm fine. But yeah, oncologists and hematologists deal with a lot of patients. Obviously they specialize in cancer, but they deal with a lot of patients that have central lines for other reasons. They deal with the care and maintenance of a lot of people that get intermittent IV access or that have it for a reason other than chemotherapy. So if you are going to get a port or a central line and none of your doctors seem like they know anything about that, I definitely say you should probably look into maybe trying an oncologist. Of course, I'm saying all of this before actually meeting with the oncologist, so I'll let you know how that goes afterwards. Alright, we finished with the doctor, and she was really nice. She had a long time to talk to us, so I updated her on all of my many health problems. Then we grabbed some lunch because I hadn't eaten all day and it was already 2 o'clock, and now we're heading home to take care of Tonka. So basically what this oncologist is going to be is basically just someone that has me as a patient officially, so that if I ever have issues with my port, I can just call them in, be like, hey, I'm having this issue with my port, and they can see me and figure out what to do. This is a lot better than using like urgent care or the ER for port care, because typically those places don't deal a lot with central line emergencies. This is an oncologist, so she deals with a lot of ports, and so if my port ever has a problem, she'll be able to diagnose and treat it properly. Or that's the hope anyways. Here's a mess, so I'm gonna undo it, even though Tonka likes to eat it. Aw, it's tangled, Tonka. It's tangled. Tonka, get it. Tonka, it's tangled. The scrunch. You know your hair is bad when it gets tangled in a scrunchie. We're going to Dairy Queen! You don't even care. You're not even looking at the camera, damn it. Oh, look at the smiles! Yeah, we're going to Dairy Queen with Tonka Truck. As of right now, he has only been in the car for...
Vet visit trainings.
He did one car training that was just like car only. Training as in like going to his trainers and vets. So he hasn't got a lot of time in the car. Sort of stresses me out as a mama because I feel like I don't want him to not know how to deal with being in the car. We're going to Dairy Queen because I could go for some ice cream and Tonka could go for some desensitization. I'm not gonna take him down at our local Dairy Queen because I don't want a bunch of people running up and petting him and messing with his training. But I am just we're gonna sit in the car and I'm going to roll down the window, and the Dairy Queen we're going to is like right next to the super loud highway, so he'll get to listen to some traffic noises while eating his dinner, or at least some of his dinner. And I get some ice cream, so it's like a win-win for everybody, right buddy? Also on the like walk to the car, he did awesome. Awesome. Say no leash pulling on the walk to the car. I walked like a boss, like a well-trained little boss. Yes, you did. Do I get kisses? Oh, do I not get kisses? Oh, he's such a baby. Guys, look at that face. How can you not love that face? We're at Dairy Queen, and the windows are down so Sherlock can hear the like highway noise. As you can see, he's a little bit stressed by this, but he just ate, so he's not too stressed. We got him a pup cup so that I could give it to him while he listened to the highway noises. So hopefully associate highway noises with good stuff. Sherlock out for his walk today, and he walked so well. Like, he walked nearly as well as he walks in the house. And when he walks in the house, he like he never pulls on me. I think it's been like weeks since he yanked on me when he was in the house. And he walked nearly that well. He only had a few corrections, and those weren't like he was lunging with all of his might. He just kind of got ahead of himself. He walked super well and only required a few corrections. I'm super excited. This is just day 3 of a leash boot camp, and he's already showing such great promise. I think that he will be super duper good at leash training by the time he is 6 months old, which is around the time that you shoot to start public access, but of course that varies from dog to dog. So I'm really excited. I just thought I would share that with you guys. I can't remember if I mentioned this earlier, but when I came in from taking Tonka Truck on a walk, I discovered that my hip had been out of place while we were walking. So basically my joint goes out really far, like further than a healthy person would be able to put it back in. I, however, can put my hip joint back in because, as you know, logic would go, since it goes out easier, it also goes in easier. Occasionally, my hip joint goes out 75% of the way, and a lot of the times you can't really tell, because when the joint goes out, I just lose sensation in that leg mostly. I just get a lot of tingling and some weird sensations when I'm in my wheelchair. So this is all when I'm in my wheelchair. Back when I could still walk, when my hip would give out when I was walking, I would get instant sharp pains all the way up my spine. And when I came inside and transferred, it went back in. And that's when the pain hits me, when it goes back in. I get reverberating pain from where Rudy is laying all the way down to my foot. It feels like everything, Rudy's trying to help, feels like everything from that base of my hip or pelvis down to my ankle feels, it's very painful. So yeah, it's been a rough few hours for me, because what happened after I put it in the first time was it hurt, but it was bearable. And then over the course of the next couple of hours, when I've been transferring in and out of my chair, or even just shifting positions on the couch, I have had the hip go out 4 more times. So basically what happens when I dislocate my hips is it goes out 1 time, and then after that 1 time, my hip goes out more easily. This is just chronic illness life, so I'm gonna go to bed. I hope you guys are having a better night than I am, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night.